Hey, 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 Stan Shields here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever in the world you might be and wherever you might be watching this broadcast from. I appreciate you joining and hanging out with me for a little while. We are broadcasting live on both Facebook and on YouTube. So if you have not liked my Facebook page, please go out and do that. You can find me. Just do a Facebook search for Stan in Shields, and I will show up. The actual URL for it is facebook.com/Stan in Shields. In is the middle initial. In is not the word in. It's facebook.com/Stan in Shields. Here's a tip. It's not the one with the kicking guy. If you see me doing a flying sidekick, that's my personal profile. That's not my business page. But please go out and like my business page. Make sure you follow me as well, and you'll get notifications for when I'm going to go live and do other broadcasts like this. Follow me there. Follow me on YouTube. You can find me at staninshields.com/YouTube. It'll take you directly to it. I don't have enough YouTube subscribers yet to have my channel customized or personalized or whatever it is that they call it these days. So we're working towards that, right? Working towards getting up to that point. Now, today's show is really all about thriving in small business in particular. Now, I had a guest that was supposed to be with me today, Nancy Magurno, but Nancy wasn't feeling well, and so we'll reschedule Nancy for probably next Thursday or something like that. My Thursday is Thursday Thrive Time or Thrive Time Thursday. Let me know what you think sounds cool. What name sounds better? Thursday's Thrive Time or Thrive Time Thursday or something else. Maybe you come up with a better idea for me. That would be awesome. And so we're going to chat and talk a little bit today about businesses that are thriving during these strange times, because the tendency might be to think, oh my gosh, COVID-19, everything's horrible, it's bad, and everything is shutting down, but quite the contrary. Now, there are some issues that we're going to chat a little bit about. So be sure to like us on YouTube and on like and subscribe over on YouTube, and then like and follow on Facebook. And if you like what you've heard on any of my past broadcasts, or you like what you're hearing on this one, then please be sure to share that with your friends and your followers as well. Appreciate it. So for today's show, I was reading an article by Forbes magazine, and I'm going to read the quote here of what they had in the article. They said, according to CNBC, 7.5 million small businesses are at risk of closing due to COVID-19. Now that's staggering. That's astounding. This little bug has had so much more of an impact than we would ever believe that it's going to have, but it's really having a huge impact. But even though they're saying that these businesses are at risk of closing, it doesn't mean that these businesses are going to close. Many businesses have figured out a way to pivot. They have figured out a way to really shift how they're doing what they do, and maybe even do something different, something that is in line with where their business is in the same industry and whatnot, but they've shifted to be able to offer maybe different services or products that are allowing them to fight through all of this and to continue and to thrive. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Yesterday, I had a guest on that was Louise Carruth, and Louise Carruth is the owner of Little Candle Tea Company. Now, Little Candle Tea Company was primarily doing face-to-face tea tastings, kind of like wine tastings. And she did it at a lot of different little local establishments or people's homes, and you name it. Now, at first, she was very reluctant and hesitant to even think about, how can I do my business online? Then, after a little bit of coaching and coaxing from several different people, she decided to seriously take a look at that. She is now one of those businesses that is thriving in an online world. She figured out how she could actually do tea tastings online. Sounds crazy. Sounds like, how would you actually do a tea tasting online? Well, she figured it out. If you want to know more about how she does what she does, go to littlecandletea.com and you'll find Louise Carruth and what it is that she's doing with hers. So there are some industries have figured out how they can pivot and how they are, and some of them are now thriving. Some of them are still figuring out how they can make this shift. And so now, even for me, I've actually created a new company in this time that's actually helping other businesses with their marketing automations and so forth. Now, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go along here. But, you know, what are some of the industries that have pivoted and they are making this shift and they are now thriving? Some of those are industries that obviously, if you had a small business and you had an online store component to your business, then it's pretty easy to make that shift, or at least it seems like it would be pretty easy to make that shift to now just selling more of your products and services online through your online store. You already had a foot in the door with doing more online sales in the first place. There's a lot of network marketing businesses that are now being super successful. In fact, I have some friends that are telling me they're not sure that they're going to go back to the old way of how they were marketing their businesses previously. Now they are looking at how can they market, or how do they continue on with what they've learned from an online marketing standpoint and continue with this path. So it's totally changed mindsets. And a lot of these businesses are thriving and doing very well. Coaches, if you're a coach, quite often you can do your coaching online. It doesn't actually have to be face-to-face. Coaching is one of the top industries that is doing very well from making this pivot and shifting and doing more of the work online. There's enough tools out there such as Zoom, StreamYard, like I'm using right now to do these broadcasts on. Those are some great tools that will allow you to actually take your business online. Networking. This is not a business or an industry per se, but think about this. You know, local networkers, a lot of businesses will go to a lot of these local events to network with other people to connect, to maybe find these prospects for selling. Now, so much of the networking, I know that several of the networking, all the networking groups that I'm in, most of the networking groups that I'm in here locally in Las Vegas, most of us have pivoted and shifted so that now we're doing all of our networking online, which many groups, some of the more established, larger groups, have not taken that shift. They did not make that change. They're making it now. But this is 3.5, 4 months later after the COVID-19 first hit. Many businesses are now finding that, oh, we do need to make this shift. I think a lot of people thought that this is just going to blow over in a couple of weeks. I was one of them. That, okay, we'll take a few weeks off, or we'll be doing this online stuff for a few weeks. But I've been actually promoting local businesses running their business or marketing their business, not running their business, but marketing their business more like the online marketers. I've been talking about that for a long time. And so now it is actually kind of hitting us in the face that we have to do it. So we have to make this shift. And for those that embraced it head on and decided they were going to go and try this, they are being super successful with it, or many of them are being super successful with it, and they're now looking at it as, why should I not shift? You know, some other businesses that have made the pivot and the shift successfully are some of the local restaurants or bakeries. Like there's one article I read about Night Owl Cookies. Their sales jumped 20 to 30% with COVID-19. Dougie's soared 50%. Immediately. Many of these kinds of businesses where they're now food deliveries have just jumped up incredibly high. I don't even know what the percentages are for that, but food delivery. Think about this. Amazon is hiring like crazy because of keeping up with the demand. for people now ordering more products and so forth online. And so think about this also. I talked a little bit about, I started a brand new business during this session. And part of it is fueled by the knowledge that we know that during the Great Depression, companies like GE and Disney and HP, those companies were all formed during the Great Depression. And many other companies were formed that some of them aren't even with us today, but many of the companies were formed. And this is because these owners or these founders looked at it differently. Anytime there is a situation like we have right now with COVID-19, it actually creates new opportunities for services and products that are actually needed during this time. Think about all the people that are taking advantage of making these masks. Now that everybody's wearing masks all over, the masks that are coming out now are incredible. It's amazing to me, the designs and everything else that's on all of that. During the Great Recession, it brought us companies and industries such as the Airbnb, Credit Karma, Uber, Slack, Square, Venmo, Zelle, all of these kinds of companies all popped up, and new industries were really created during times that people thought things were going in the wrong direction. So we have to get out of the box. We have to get out of our box. We have to get out of our own head, and we have to just look at things differently. So take the what I want you to walk away from with this is all is not lost. There are opportunities that are in front of us. We just have to take advantage of these opportunities. We have to open our eyes and see what some of these opportunities are. And think about this now, sometimes there are people that may, if you're struggling to make the pivot, people might have said to you, why don't you try this or why don't you try that? And the normal tendency is to say, oh, that won't work for my business. My business is really a face-to-face business. Rather than taking that approach, think about some of these ideas that people throw at you and take an approach of, can I make this work? How could I make this work? And really reach out to others and find out, are there some things that maybe you do a little differently? You add a little twist to it. Maybe you ship products to people, or I don't know, whatever. There's so many different options for so many different businesses. Now, here's an idea that I've been kicking around in my head, and that is whether or not doing a mastermind to brainstorm on ways to pivot. So if you have a small business, you're struggling with pivoting, and you think, yeah, it'd be great if I could get in a room of other small business owners or coaches or people that maybe look at the world a little bit differently and come up with some ideas on how to pivot. If you'd be interested in a mastermind, then let me know that. Shoot me a comment or something on this broadcast and let me know. And we'll see then, can we pull something like that together? That could be fun. So if you haven't already liked me on my Facebook channel, my Facebook page, business page, just go to facebook.com/StanInShield. Remember, N is the middle initial. And like my page as well as follow so that you get notifications when there's going to be a broadcast. And if you have not liked or subscribed on YouTube, please go over to my YouTube channel, and it is staninshields.com/YouTube. staninshields.com/YouTube. I should put all of those on the screen, and I'll do that next time. But let's see here. Now, what do we have coming up? We've got a couple of events coming up. Tomorrow is Friday, and we have speed networking. We've taken the speed networking concept that we did physically, face-to-face. We would meet with a person. It's almost like speed dating. You get 1 minute to tell your story. Your partner gets 1 minute to tell their story. And then you decide, does it make sense for you to get together for a one-to-one meeting later, coffee, tea, just whatever, so that you can explore each other's businesses a little bit more and figure out, is there a way to either do business together or refer each other or somehow collaborate and create something together and have some kind of a joint venture opportunity. So we've taken the speed networking concept and moved it online. So we use breakout rooms to actually give you one-to-one time with a another participant in the meeting, and you'll get, I don't know, like 3 minutes or so to actually have a conversation with each other. But it's a very fun process. And if you'd like to join us for speed networking, it's tomorrow. It's Friday at 3:00 p.m. Pacific time. So today is Thursday, the 23rd of July. So this event will be on Friday, July 24th at 3:00 p.m. Pacific time. But there's the link for you right there, speed networking. So be sure to join us for that. Also coming up is I will be co-hosting the second Zoomathon with Dr. Victoria Boyd. We will be doing the Zoomathon to raise money for the Philanthropreneur Foundation, which helps nonprofits be successful. The Zoomathon will start at about 10 a.m. on Saturday morning and run until about 2:00 p.m. It's a lot of free training and it's a lot of fun. So if you've not done the Zoomathon, come join us and hang out with us. It's a lot of fun, and you might learn something. Who knows? Okay, so come join us, hang out with us, and let's have some fun with it. That's it for today. Thank you again for joining me. I appreciate you tons, and I will see you next time. By the way, so Tuesday will be my next broadcast, Tool Tip Tuesday. Come join me, and usually on Tuesday, what I'm going to do is try and show you some kind of a business tip or a tool that might be useful for you in running your business. And we'll see you Tuesday, and then we'll have some other broadcasts coming up Wednesday and Thursday as well. Take care. Have a great day, weekend. Have fun, be safe, and thrive.